Mexican drug violence heating up, and Texans are getting downright hot over it. The Lone Star State's Attorney General firing off a letter to the president after El Paso City Hall was hit by gunfire. The AG says Mexican drug cartels are to blame, and he's blaming the government for not securing the border. Republican Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott joining us now. Attorney General Abbott, welcome to the program. How many more troops do you want? How many more troops do you need on the border?
Well, first of all, great to be with you. But secondly, it's clear the president simply does not get it. They need to understand that the border is a very unsafe place. We have a gunshot coming across the border, piercing into the City Hall in El Paso. 7 shots hit City Hall, 1 breaking through glass, entering into an internal office. People could have been killed by those bullets. And until the administration, first of all, gets the danger and understands what needs to be done, and then secondly, responds to that danger. And what they need to do is to ensure that they respond comprehensively to secure the danger on our border. Let me give you an easy example, and that is it was just a couple of months ago that an American citizen who worked in the U.S. consulate office in Juarez, which is just right across from El Paso, just a couple of blocks away from El Paso, was murdered by these drug cartel members. In response to that, the administration sent down a team that canvassed the El Paso area, arrested the individual who committed this crime, and rooted out the problems. Is that kind of response that we need to see from the administration in Washington, D.C. But first of all, they must understand that their top priority has to be to secure the safety of all Americans.
But is there a number of new troops that will solve the problem? After all, it is a foreign country. If people are firing shots across our border, what options do we realistically have?
Well, there are several options. First of all, National Guard troops is only one component of the equation. There must be a greater number of Border Patrol agents. There must be a greater number of other local officers. There must be a greater number of prosecutors. National Guard troops won't get it done alone. But secondly, importantly, this is a number that's missing from the national debate. Obama promised 1,200 National Guard troops for the entire southern border. That's less than 1/4 of the number that President Bush devoted to the region. So at a minimum, Obama should increase the number to the same number that Bush devoted to the region, which was 6,000. But again, National Guard troops alone is not the solution. We need a more comprehensive problem to root out these problems and prosecute the problem, and that will begin to push back the violence on the border.
Well, the Mexican police do their best, but they are undermanned, they're understaffed, they're undergunned, correct? And in large cases, I would imagine they are nervous, right? Because these drug cartels have no problem executing police officers in their own country. Would we allow our troops to fire back?
Well, that would be an issue of international protocol that would have to be hammered out between the U.S. and Mexico. I wouldn't see that coming anytime soon. But here's exactly what people need to understand and things that can be done to begin to address the problem. In just the last week alone, one of the leading gubernatorial candidates in Mexico for a region on the border was killed by these drug cartels. An assistant attorney general in one of the states that is neighboring on the U.S. border was killed by the drug cartel. Also, we saw just a couple of months ago a hand grenade launched into the U.S. consulate in Nuevo Laredo, just across the border from Laredo here in the state of Texas. These are the kinds of danger signs that we're seeing bumping up across the Texas and American border. Every time we have seen an addition of National Guard troops as well as other resources put down on the border, we've seen a diminishment of the kinds of threats like these that we're seeing from the border.
Mr. Attorney General, we have to go. Greg Abbott of Texas, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it.